Hey guys, Feuerrm here, and today I will not be testing the Koenigsegg Jesko, as it is apparently pronounced, in multiplayer in Asphalt 9, because I did not get the car, and go watch my Jesko event video if you want to know all about that. Afiq has given me some races in his 5-star one, although technically the upgrades are only at the 3-star stage, so for all practical purposes it is a 3-star car. Since this is sort of around the level that most people who actually got the Jesko will have the car at, it is a good test to see just how it will do in most people's cases. Now obviously, most people did not manage to get this car. Again, watch my Jesko event video if you want to hear all about that. But of the people that did, this video will give you a sort of idea of how you can feel about the car and how it will do on different tracks. Sometime next week, I have a video coming about the Max Jesko, driven by Pro Team Dihan, so definitely be on the lookout for that as well. So at the beginning of this race, Afiq went out of bounds a little bit or something, I think it was, and as you can see, he's now all the way back into 4 out of 7 position. This car is the fastest car in the entire game by a very long shot. No other car in the game can reach above 300 miles per hour on the ground, even with nitro. This car can reach like 320 at max, and honestly it's not super much lower than that at this rank. Not only does it have good top speed, but it also has one of the best drifting and drifting speeds in the entire game. Its acceleration and nitro efficiency are a bit worse than the Bugatti Chiron's, as you can probably tell, but it is able to maintain speed when drifting very well, even better than the Corvette actually. It's faster around this 180-degree turn than that car. And this allows us to come in first by a very long shot, even with that little issue at the beginning. And in this race we beat a Terzo, a 918, a VLF, a couple of Ventador Js, all fairly close to 4,000 rank. That's the thing about this car. It can achieve a very high speed at the same rank as many cars that can go like 80 miles per hour slower than it at max speed. Now, since rank in Asphalt 9 does not go into matchmaking at all, it's just based on the player rating, I'm sure you guys pretty much all know that already, but the thing is, with all of Gameloft's rebalancing that they have done with changing the car's stats, what they've generally done is made cars perform closer to their ranks, by which I mean cars around the same rank. They're trying to get to be fairly close to the same overall level of performance. Obviously they may have different strengths, but I'm just talking about overall. And this can be seen in my best and worst cars in each class list. One of the classes, I don't remember which one it was in particular, but one of them was pretty much exactly how the cars were ranked in their class. So they've done a pretty good job at that. It's just that, generally speaking, with higher classes, the same rank as a lower class is actually a better car. This is often due to having a higher top speed at the same rank, and that is definitely the case in this car. Afiq is right on the tail of this other Koenigsegg Jesko, and right around here manages to get very close to him, then shockwaves up the final ramp to pass him at the very last second. Lands on him, but doesn't knock him down. There's also a VLF and a Ventador J, and somehow a Huracan that came in last place. Not entirely sure about that. So during the next race or two, I'm going to let you guys know about the Senna special event, because I'm sure you all really do want to know about this. I don't think I'm going to make a completely separate video about it at the beginning, because for the most part, it is set up just like any of the previous special events, like the Chiron or Aperta, you name it. It's not like the Jesko one. But there is a new aspect to it, which is this thing called conditions. What I believe it is every one of the rewards that you get inside a stage of the day gives you one more condition. And you have to have certain numbers of conditions in order to unlock later stages. So this means that you can't just do the bare minimum each day to get the blueprints for the car. You have to keep playing them in order to unlock other ones. Now, they do give you some leeway. There are 500 total conditions, and you only need 300 to get to the final stage. Still, that means you have to do well over half of all of the races that you can do in the event, and on some of the grindy stages, that's not going to be very fun. In this race, Afiq beats a VLF and 4 Corvette Grand Sports. By the way, the 8 races in this video were sequential, so none taken out. However, you do get a certain amount of blueprints for completing the conditions. I believe it is 17 blueprints for the Senna. If you complete 300 of them, which is what you need to unlock the final stage, then 1, you can get 2 epics by getting more than that, and if you get all 500, you get the decal for the car. I'm not sure if there will be other decals. There probably will be some for getting top 10, the special event, and stuff like that, like there have been in the past, because we do know there are multiple decals for the Senna. Now, I'm sure you are wondering, what cars are actually needed in order to get the Senna? Well, I have some bad news for you. You're going to need the McLaren P1 Apollo and McLaren 570S and the new Aranera Hycera 33 and the Aston Martin GT12. At max without epics. Now, I'm not 100% sure if that is to get the Jesko or to fully complete the event. Either way, that's going to be thousands of tokens, maybe tens of thousands of tokens, again, spent in order to get this car. And the thing is, if you manage to get the Jesko by spending those tens of thousands of tokens, chances are you're not going to have any left for this car. How nice. And if you had enough tokens to get the Jesko but didn't and plan to spend them on this instead, it's not as good as the Jesko. How nice also. Basically, it's going to be another very pay-to-win event for a car that, while it's very good, actually has the slowest speed in Class S and will only be very good in multiplayer on certain tracks. In other ones, it's just going to be kind of okay. If you would like to see how it performs at max, I have a video up about that on my channel. There was a bit of a misconception with that. I do not own the Senna. I did not receive it for that video. It was in a special free try daily event thingy for members of the influencer program. So if anybody was confused, no, I don't have it. However, I'm definitely going to try my best in the event for it. Hopefully, I'm just going to try to unlock it at this point. I'm not even going to try to start up if I can't do that. Currently, I have 7,000 something tokens. I don't know if that'll be enough to unlock it. Knowing Gameloft, it probably won't be, but we'll just have to see. Again, I will do my very best. My goal at this point, or one of the main ones with my YouTube channel with Asphalt 9, is to show you guys just how much you can do being a free-to-play player. And also to show you guys what is actually impossible without spending money. So if you do not want to spend money on the game, you can get a pretty good chance of what you can do, assuming you put a good amount of time into it, and what you actually can't do. With meticulous saving and perfect spending on exactly what you need with great luck, I mean, you're probably going to be able to do pretty much everything without spending money, but really, who's going to be able to do that? So honestly, you're not going to be able to get everything in this game as a free-to-play player at this point, just a single year into the game. As I said in my event video, it took Asphalt 8 5 years to get to this point. Basically, they're doing the same thing to Asphalt 9 that they did with Asphalt 8. The thing is, it is going much faster, because when Asphalt 8 came out, it was a very non-pay-to-win game, and I mean, when Asphalt 9 came out, it wasn't quite as non-pay-to-win as Asphalt 8. I mean, we had the packs and stuff like that, but at that point, it was definitely better than how Asphalt 8 had become at that point. We got plenty of tokens, plenty of credits, stuff like that. We had plenty of tokens in order to get the cars that came out, and it was all pretty good. But then came the Jesko event. Well, there were some leading up to it, but mainly that one is what solidified the fact that, yes, it is really a pay-to-win game at this point, just as bad as Asphalt 8 has become. So I'm sure some of you are probably wondering, if it's as bad as Asphalt 8 is now, why am I still playing it? Because I quit Asphalt 8. Well, there are a couple reasons for that. For one, I am really still enjoying playing Asphalt 9. I enjoy the racing, I enjoy all of that, and I don't feel like it has been quite ruined so much as Asphalt 8, because Asphalt 8 was just so amazing, and then they completely butchered it by changing a bunch of stuff. That hasn't really happened in Asphalt 9 yet. Also, they're the most popular videos on my channel, and I know you guys want to watch them, so I'm going to continue making them as long as I can. Here, Afiq beats a higher ranked Huracan, which is actually almost 100 miles per hour slower. Yeah, let that sink in. By the way, I'm not entirely sure why Afiq made the car pink, but I will forgive him for it since he drives extremely well. And I guess that sort of counteracts the reduction in stats that you get when you make a car pink. So near the end of the Jesko event, as you guys probably saw, there was that third I Am in Control event where you could get like 75,000 syndicate coins and blueprints for the cars. I believe I've already talked about this a bit in a previous video, but through that I was able to almost 4-star my Jannetta. I still needed 3 more in order to fully max it out. Now, at this point, I wish I had spent some tokens in order to do that, because you can get an extra 5 blueprints for the TVR Griffith if you have a 4-star Janetta, and since you're limited to only 80 races in the car hunt, which is barely enough to 2-star Janetta, I definitely wished I had spent a bit in order to max out the Janetta, because the thing is about Asphalt 9 is that the cars that you get earlier on, you need later on to get cars that you will again need later on, and this is seen very objectively now by Gameloft saying that you will definitely need the Senna and the Zenvo TS1 10th anniversary to get whatever the next big S-Class car is, which I speculate is in fact the Vanda, because that car was shown so long ago in a dev build of the game from the Koenigsegg Jesko video on the Asphalt channel. And since we don't have anything else to go on, and it's been so long since then, I think it's pretty safe to assume at this point that that's the car. Again, that's just speculation, but it's a pretty educated guess. And now for our final race in the video, in which Afiq is racing, among other things, a Trion Nemesis and a Corvette on a very twisty track. The thing about the Jesko is that it really doesn't have a problem with twisty tracks at all because of this very good drifting and handling. It's really just the low nitro efficiency and sort of low acceleration that would get in the way on these tracks, and it's why I think that the Senna could definitely do better than the Jesko on some tracks like the Caribbean, but there's going to be very few, and we'll actually have to see. I mean, honestly, I think that with some of the aliens of the game, they could probably do better with the Jesko on the Caribbean than with the Senna. But we'll have to see what happens when some tests come out, as I always say. Now it's time for my general review of this car. It is definitely the king of the game. Even at 1 or 2 stars, it can do better than the Bugatti Chiron at 4 or 6 stars, and when at max, when they're both at max really, the Jesko pretty much can beat the Chiron on any track. There might be a couple that the Chiron can beat it on, but I'm not aware of any particular ones. It has extremely high top speed, the highest in the game, extremely good drifting and drifting speed, but just mediocre nitro efficiency and acceleration. I would say that the Jesko is more of an event-focused car rather than a multiplayer one. However, as we've seen in this video, it can do extremely good in multiplayer seasons. Afiq comes in first in this final of these 8 sequential races. For some reason, the network status doesn't sync, but you can see that he came in first. Thank you all for watching. Please like the video if you've enjoyed, and consider subscribing for more Asphalt 9 and Forza and Minecraft content, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye.